I am so pleased to be starting off this part of our program this morning and truly honored to tell you about an amazing woman, Lee Garnett Lewis. Most of us, known to most of us as Garn, although I think there were a few days in her early NMU days when she actually went by Lee. She arrived on campus in 1983 to take on the duties of hall director in Milan Hall. She was coming from Missouri. She did not know a soul, and soon found herself smack dab in the middle of a snowstorm. Sounds like the northern experience most of us have come to love. One of the people who met her during her first year here said this to me. I remember the very day I met her. Why? Because of her self-confidence, firm handshake, eye-to-eye contact, winning smile, but most of all, she was so genuine. She genuinely cared. As Martha said, the Alumni Service Award recognizes an alumna whose volunteerism, contributions, and her recruitment efforts on behalf of NMU are above the norm. I know Garn, and I know Garn would never, ever tell you what she does for Northern, because she does not do it for the recognition. So that's why you have to listen to me for a moment. I doubt that you could find an individual more loyal to Northern Michigan than Garn Lewis. Service to your alma mater, what does it actually mean? A lot of people talk about Northern, but Garn Lewis lives Northern, and she takes that responsibility to heart. The list of her volunteer activities, quite lengthy, and I won't go into all of them. Everything from hosting legislative receptions on behalf of Northern, to hosting tailgate parties, to Wildcat Night across the country parties. She has served on the NMU Alumni Association Board of Directors and is a past president, served on the NMU Foundation Board, and now is a member of NMU's Board of Control. When the NMU Alumni Association was looking for volunteers to host inaugural Wildcat Make a Difference Day events in their local area, Garn was the very first person to step up to the plate. Not only did she volunteer to conduct a food pantry drive, but she undertook the project in 2 separate locations on the very same day, Midland and Saginaw. And I'm pretty sure in between those two, she had another community service project she was working on. If you visit Garn's Facebook page, you will find a favorite saying. Action is what separates a belief from an opinion. She believes in Northern, and she takes action for Northern. Annie Van Dyke nominated Garn for this award. Garn selflessly continues to contribute her time and talents to improving the quality of lives of others. Her dedication is commendable and exemplifies the degree of passion Garn feels for Northern. She truly loves what she does and therefore infects her family, friends, and the NMU community with her enthusiasm. She is a humble person and will deflect recognition, but her dedication has not gone unnoticed, and that is why I am honored to nominate her for this Alumni Award. Though she's earned degrees from other schools, Garn eats, sleeps, and breathes Northern. She is a tireless advocate for Northern alumni, students, faculty, and staff. I'm very pleased to honor Garn today on behalf of her alma mater with the NMU Alumni Association Alumni Service Award. Thank you, Garn, for all you do, and congratulations. Yep. That's if I could get this one.
Sometimes when I've done this, I have absolutely no idea what to do. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I'm shaking. This is horrible. Okay.
Should I stand behind you?
Yeah, you might want to. I'm sorry. Well, Annie Van Dyke, you're a totally toast woman because this is just, I will apologize in advance. I've had to write down my thoughts because if I don't, I'll go off in all different ranges and I'll start crying and I'll get all mushy. So I'll try not to do that. But I think first off, just, yeah, this is just totally embarrassing and agonizing for me to do this. It's easy to come up and give it to others. I mean, it's just, but then, you know, anyway. So, so I've written down my thoughts, but there's no way that I can adequately express my sincere gratitude to this institution. I was given an opportunity to come here as a hall director and get my degree, my master's degree, and really Northern was the place that really said, you're welcome here, and we believe in you. And so I will never, ever be able to repay that, ever. And that's kind of why I do what I do. You know, it's because everything about this place is, it's almost, those wristbands, what would Jesus do? It's really, what would Northern do? So anyway, okay, so I'll start. I'm sorry, I see I got off track already. It's really bad. And Ed Nemi, I will keep it short, I promise. He came up to me and said, keep it short. Really the real reason that you get this kind of award, and especially for me, is because I just cannot say no. And when Deanna and Martha had this idea for these hockey parties, I mean, they didn't even have to ask because they were mentioning this, and it's like, oh gosh, okay, I just can't say no. They didn't even have to ask, so it's kind of my own fault. But I was a little bit of a late bloomer as far as service is concerned, but it's really Northern's fault, excuse me, that became such a part of me. And a little bit of a digression, I left here in '87. I finished up my master's degree in '86 and kept in contact, of course, with so many wonderful people on the staff, Jim and Patty Drew and Alice, the whole crew. We kept in contact. Many of us would meet at our national conferences in student life. And I think it was in the early '90s that we were at a NASPA conference. I don't even remember where it was anymore. And we knew that Dave Bonzel and Karen Reese were presenting on this leadership program. And we thought, oh, we need this. And the topic wasn't even the thing. It was Dave Bonzel and Karen Reese. We had to go see them. So we walked in, and it was this wonderful session on this leadership program, this concept for a leadership program with 3 semesters, with a final semester as a service component. I sat there. I thought, oh, my God, this is fantastic. And I took this program idea back to the institution where I was working at, Tarleton State University down in Texas, said this is a fantastic concept, including that 3rd semester of a service project. So we implemented that I stole it, I copied it, and I'm not ashamed to say so. And so what actually kind of hit me really quickly early on in implementing that program with the students who were so very receptive to it was I certainly couldn't ask my students to do this service element without doing it myself. And that, for those of you who have worked with students, there's no better way to be a model than to do it yourself, because then there's not a question, right? So I started actually volunteering with Meals on Wheels, and I was hooked. And it's so, you get so much from this type of an opportunity, and I know many of you understand that. So it's because of Northern, and primarily Dave Bonzel and Karen Reese. I mean, they're the ones who are responsible for all the trouble that I create on behalf of Northern. So anyway, I did want to say that there's great things that happen as a result of doing these types of events, and some of the people who I've met through these events are now on the alumni board. For example, Patrick and Tricia Wilson from Bay City. I think you all showed up at the very first hockey night party. I can't even remember, it was in Saginaw. I mean, I thought, you're terrified doing this. There's nobody's going to show up, And here they come, and I think they've been to, I don't know, just about everyone since then. Patrick is now a member of the alumni board, and they actually hosted their very first successful Wildcat Night Party in Bay City last year, which was wonderful. It was great. So that, in a way, it kind of just rolls forward, which I think is really the whole concept and the rationale for it. Cynthia Peck and her husband have also attended. I think they're, I know she teaches at Delta College, and she received an award here, last year or the year before. They have 2 daughters. One's graduated from Northern, the other one's here at Northern. So that's that connection, I think. And what's great about these events are folks who are no longer here are looking for the opportunity to reconnect with their Northern friends, even if they don't really know them. So it's really kind of cool to do this. Kurt Tucker and his wife, I know Kurt's here, had attended several events. Kurt's now on the alumni board. And then the best story yet, and I'll finish after this, one of the very last hockey nights that I did was in Midland at Damon's, and it was a great turnout. It was a great night, and we have all these people. I think Patricia and Patrick were there, and in walks this couple with these Northern sweatshirts. They're like, this is amazing. We were on our way up north to our cottage, and we happened to stop in at Damon's because we were hungry, and Northern's having an event here. And it was fantastic. It was just so fun. It was just delightful. And that's it's almost like we all are walking around looking for a Northern event, and we just happen to happen to one. So anyway, thank you so much. It's wonderful, and I have to tell you, and I write this down, and it's so true, I feel so very undeserving of this award, because I know for a fact that there are so many more deserving alums out there who have done great things. So my request to you is to help me please find them and nominate them to ensure that they're recognized for their good deeds as well. Thank you.